What is happening, all you sexy YouTube warriors out there? Range Day Bro back at it again, and today we're going to be talking about the SCAR-17's infamous overgassing issue and the best solution I found to date to fix that. Let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at one of the biggest issues with this SCAR heavy that FN just has never addressed, and that is going to be the overgassing issue. If you guys own one of these guns, if you're thinking about owning one of these guns, this is definitely something you need to address before ever going to the range and slapping a suppressor on this gun. Now, before we get into the details, I do want to start my video off on a positive note. We need to go back on the offensive, fighting for our gun rights, and that doesn't mean being rude, that doesn't mean being aggressive. What I mean is, next time you talk to somebody about guns and they disagree with you, don't let your emotions get in the way. Stay calm, listen to what they have to say, and then rebuttal with facts if they will give you the opportunity to. What I'm trying to say is, there's no way we're going to grow this community by being hard-headed, by being stubborn, by being rude and angry and cutting people off. My whole goal with starting this channel was to bring more millennials, more people from all different political aisles into the Second Amendment community, because these are not for just one party. These are not just for one race. These are not for any one individual or one type of people or one class. These things are for everybody. The individual right to self-defense is a universal right for all humans. I truly believe that. And we are blessed, being Americans, to be able to exercise that right, mostly to the fullest. We have a lot of work to do. And yeah, we won't get into that right now, but just wanted to start it off on a positive note. I love all you YouTube warriors out there. Go out there and do some good and spread some love in the world and show them that, you know, gun owners aren't so scary. We're just regular people who want to be left alone. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, guys, I wanted to talk to you about the overgassing issue on the SCAR platform rifles. Now, today we're looking at the 308 or SCAR heavy version 17S. And as you guys can tell, there's been quite a few upgrades on here. And the reason we're talking about this today is because before I bought this gun, I had this vision in my head of what it would be like to own a SCAR heavy. It was always a dream of mine to own this rifle. And much like anything that you build up in your mind, it kind of fell short of my expectations. So when I first got this rifle, I had heard all kinds of things on the internet about running this thing suppressed, about how it's so overgassed, and that if you put a mirror suppressor on here, FN will void your warranties. So just like anything that I had built up in my head, I kind of ignored those issues as if, you know, they wouldn't happen to me if I just ignored them, and proceeded to buy the gun, upgrade it as I saw fit, and then went and shot that first initial review where I ran about 250 rounds through it, and literally besides like 3 of them, all of them were suppressed, maybe besides 2. So I ran the gun suppressed from day one, first shots, and I had a comment come in on that video which pretty much turned my attention to the issue that would arise from running a KDG stock with a aluminum backplate versus the UGG boot, which is a plastic backplate, along with a suppressor, which is suppressor I ran initially was the Dead Air Sandman S. So the commenter pretty much said, "Hey man, love the video. Thanks for the love." And he said to look out for canted screws in the back of your receiver if you're running the SCAR suppressed with the KDG stock. Initially, I didn't think anything of the comment. I didn't really go to my gun, go to my safe and pull it out and take a look at it. It kind of struck me for a moment because he mentioned the company which we're going to be talking about today, which is Mototech Engineering. And he said that they have screw sets for the SCAR to help mitigate this issue. A couple days went by, and the next time I grabbed my SCAR, I took a look, and lo and behold, I had absolutely started to see some canting in these back screws here, which we'll roll in a close-up of right now. With all that being said, I realized that there would probably be an issue down the road, but I never in a million years thought that just after 250 rounds of shooting this thing suppressed, that I would already see dramatic canting of my rear receiver screws. It kind of took me by surprise because I didn't realize that just with that 250 round count that would start to happen. But for a very expensive rifle stock, we're talking about $4,000, this guy, I don't believe that should happen, period. I did have it in the factory suppressed setting, but once again, FN will void your warranty if you shoot it suppressed. So I'm not really sure what that second setting is, less gas setting. That is why we're here to talk about this today, because I see this as a critical failure if this were to continue, God knows what would happen. Maybe strip these screws. They might walk all the way out and just deem the gun inoperable. But I think that is a huge issue, and I'm surprised SCAR hasn't fixed this by now. Clearly, there is a need for something to fix the SCAR gassing issue, and that's where Mototech Engineering comes in. What has Mototech created, and what is this video regarding today? Well, specifically, we're going to be talking about the SCARburator Gen 3 Supercharged, and what this thing does is it gives you 10 gas settings to which you can actually adjust your SCAR gas, pretty much fine-tune your gas system to the specific suppressor and the specific ammunition you're running. So what this does is it allows you to find that Goldilocks region within your gas settings to give you a still reliable system while softening your recoil and extending the life of your parts. So the reason this is so innovative and why I'm so excited about this is because it actually is super easy to install, and it gives you 10 settings. The factory selector only gives you 2 settings, which you can see here, and by eyeball, I know there are different sizes, but the second suppress setting size is not very much smaller than the original size. And that's what's contributing to the overgassing when putting a suppressor on here. Now, I'm not using a flow-through suppressor. A Dead Air Sandman series of suppressors is a traditional baffle stack suppressor, and so is the Nomad in which we tested the SCARburator with. Regardless of that, most people have baffle stack cans, and most people want to run a heavy gun like this suppressed if they're hog hunting or if they're shooting at night. It's going to dramatically reduce the concussion and felt recoil, and it's going to also reduce your flash signature, which is important when you're fighting at night. This is the OEM gas selector. As I mentioned, it's only got 2 positions for unsuppressed and suppressed. Super simple to replace this OEM one. You just press the detent and rotate it out. It pulls right out. And then I actually had to loosen up my KDG rail in order to get this guy in because it's a little bit taller. But all it did was drop right in, and then I had to push the little detent to lock it into place. And then you have toolless adjustments right here, 1 through 10, and there's detents now on this 3rd generation, so that you don't need to use the set screws, but it does come with set screws in case you want to lock in a certain position. If you're going to be running this thing real tough and rolling around with it and you don't want to get bumped out of place, you can use those set screws, but it's really cool. The detents work just fine for me when I was testing it. One of the biggest advantages to me was not having to replace the gas jets. So this uses the OEM gas jet, leaves it in the exact same place, and just replaces your selector right here. So the install was super easy. So to test this thing, I just took some M80 from PPU and actually flew the drone at 12 o'clock just right above my head so you could see the ejection pattern as I went through the settings. So I started at setting number 10, which is the gas full open on the SCARburator without the suppressor on, just the dead air flash hider on here. And I worked my way down, shooting about approximately 2 rounds every single time, just so you can see the ejection pattern, and kind of starts up front being pretty aggressive, as you can imagine, the gas all the way open, and then starts to come back and back and back as we go down from 10 all the way down to setting number 1. And at setting number 1, as you can imagine, it didn't even eject the shell that was in the chamber. But going back from there, I threw the suppressor on there, which is the Dead Air Nomad, which you can see back here on my DDM4 PDW. And I worked my way back up from setting number 1 all the way up to setting number 7, because that is where it was just overgassed and I didn't feel the need to continue the test there because once I hit number 7, it was, once again, it was getting overgassed. I don't imagine anybody would run their suppressor with the SCARburator past setting number 7. There's just no point. That would just be like throwing in the OEM and opening it to the unsuppressed setting. So that being said, I was super impressed with the results.
Go. All right, bolt did not lock back on that one. Setting number 1. Jam. So this did not eject. Are you jamming? The last cartridge. What's going on? Let's see. Ejected and cycled a new round. Go. Go. That was weird. Ejected the last shell and then, yeah, popped that guy out. Okay.
So as you guys can tell from the footage, this thing is an absolute game changer. It's super easy to install. You just drop it right in, and I just think it's a genius idea. I'm just pissed I didn't come up with it myself, but you know what? It's a local Texas-based company. They're made here, right here in the USA, and if you guys are interested in this thing, I highly, highly recommend it. I still have a lot more testing to do with it. It reduces your gas on your SCAR to your preferred level, and you can easily change it without a tool. Just simply, the knurling on here is plenty good to just move it right past those detents. And so I love this thing. In the field, you can quickly, easily adjust. I can't believe FN hasn't bought this off Mototech Engineering yet, because this is simply the best solution in my opinion. This thing is what should come on the SCAR. For the price of this rifle, it should absolutely come with that stock. Kind of blows my mind it doesn't, but that is why we love the aftermarket. We love the free market here in the United States. So big shout out to Mototech Engineering for coming up with this design. This is their 3rd generation, but I haven't had a need for this because I just got my SCAR and I just discovered this problem. So if you own a SCAR rifle, definitely take a look at the SCARburator from Mototech Engineering. These are made here locally, just outside San Antonio, Texas, so you can buy them guilt-free. You're supporting an American company. The owner was nothing but informative and made himself very available to me anytime I called him, which I thought was really cool. And he walked me through how to install and all that good stuff. So far my experience has been top-notch with them, and I can recommend them to you guys knowing that you will be taken care of. So that's gonna wrap it up for today, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel, for staying to the end of the video. If it's your first time here, please like, comment, and subscribe. I mean that, guys. It really helps the channel out. We're just getting started, but you know, we are growing rapidly thanks to all you sexy YouTube warriors out there. So big shout out to all you guys for staying to the end. I really appreciate all your support and all your love. And if you're a return viewer, then thank you for your loyalty, you sexy YouTube warriors. And until next time, stay safe, stay dangerous. Range Day Bro, out.